All right, guys. Sorry about all the hoopla, but I can't make the stupid thing work like I want it to work. So we'll just have to deal with it. Anyway. Now comes all the tinkering. I can still see the chat box. Let me pull this up, turn these off. And that way I can see the chat box in front of me. Okay, so that's off. We'll put this over here. I'll turn this on. You know, I don't know how these kids do it. It's so complicated. But whatever, we'll get it. Come on, turn on. There we go. All right, now what I want to talk about is what makes a good model. Well, right now is what makes a good model, the tinkering. Steve Hines. No, I did not get the windscreen. Is the last thing to go on the airplane. Basically, I have to paint this red before I put a windscreen on. So we're not worried about that. Now, I got an idea if you guys want to try it. Steve Hines and the other guys. In Stunhanger, there's a Jitsi Meat complex test. Go there and click on it because I have my tablet here. Come on. And the tablet is separate now. It was linked to the program, so you guys can talk to me, but it will not appear on YouTube. But you can talk to me. So let's go here. Let's see. I'll turn that on. Been read twice. Join the meeting. Go over to the at the bench thread. Yeah, there's nobody in there. But if you go to the at the bench thread, you'll be able to talk to me. So do that, Steve. Let's see here. And okay, so I don't know how to toggle back and forth. I don't know about all this stuff. Anyway, got the cowl done today. I still have to line it, but for the most part, it's done. And I'm going to parallel up these lines here. They're not quite perfect for the muffler. You can see that it's a little closer there than it is there. But anyway, what makes a model a good model is the attention paid to the spinner fit. Does the spinner fit well? Are the lines parallel on the muffler openings? Of course, your cowl fitment, is this line perfect? Back here, it's a little wide, but like I say, we're going to put the 64th plywood in there, so that'll help out. So basically what I'm doing today is just tinkering with this fitment. And how I do that, let me make sure this you guys can see that. Thank you, Holly. You go to the At the Bench thread, you can click on the complex video test complex video test thread, and let me turn this other light on here so you can, well, that might make it too bright. Anyway, I take a little dowel that's got sandpaper on it, and you want to stay on the plywood. And just start sanding the plywood. If you go into the balsa right there, it'll groove the crap out of it. And this takes, this could take several hours to do. I'm not going to do that through this whole video. But we're looking for this model to be my classic model for next year's nationals. I have never flown classic at the Nats. I would stand a better chance of being competitive in classic than I would in open. One, for the simple fact these are the airplanes I like to fly. And two, the field's smaller. And the guys that have won classic I've beat before. Except Billy, I haven't never beaten him. That'd be a hard road to hoe. So, can we see what we're doing here? These are not really tutorial videos, they're just kind of progress videos on how I'm doing with this airplane. I want to show you the inside of the cowl. If your equipment doesn't look like this, you're not doing it right. This cowl weighs less than a half an ounce. It's 13 grams. But if you look inside there, pretty much all sanded out. It's got a few spots in it yet. But as Steve says, I make it look real easy. Steve, go over to Jitsi. Click on the Jitsi. I'm in Jitsi too. It's on the At the Bench thread. But I'll sand on this, and this will be finished inside just as well as it's finished outside. We'll take some super fill and go up inside here. Is that necessary? Nah, not really, but it's the way I like to do things. I also take sandpaper, as I've showed at other times. A little chunk of sandpaper like that. Drop of super glue. Glue it to your finger. Hey, Steve.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, if you got to watch on YouTube and talk to me on this.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to set it up so that I could do both, but man, it didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to do both. I guess I can go get on the computer and have my phone on this.
Yeah.
I was just kind of wondering about the windscreen. Do you inlet it at all to help hold it, or?
I haven't figured it out yet, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I won't really think of that until I get there.
All right.
You know, it's kind of far out from the process right now.
So I always have problems with damn canopies and windscreens and
Well,
stuff like that.
go back and look at my Nobler canopy install video, the Continental canopy install. There's several ways to do it. I had the Monado canopy install. I've done it 3 different ways.
Okay.
Where I've stippled the plastic with a pinhole. Can you guys?
Use a fillet.
Pardon me?
And use a fillet.
Yep.
Okay.
This video here is kind of like I say, a tinkering video. I'm just kind of I don't want to see that the computer is behind me. You're sitting on the bench here on my tablet. The camera is up here to my left over my shoulder, but I have to turn around backwards to look at the screen. So I'm trying to get it.
Hey, on your runner there, is the wheel going to be right in the where you see that little?
It's already in there. Yeah.
I always wanted to try that. I did it on an RC airplane and I liked it, but I always wanted to try it on a shoreline.
I thought Samantha's subrudder airplane had that.
Yeah, we were going to do it, but I chickened out and just stuck a tail wheel on there.
Yeah, it's inlet plywood. It's already in there. It'll be fine. It's not good for crash landings, but it'll be fine.
Hey, I just, we usually fly off the grass and stuff that's bumpy, and I was wondering how much shock it would send through the airplane, being, at least the tail wheel has a little bit of spring to it.
I don't think it much matters. Steve Hines is talking about the tail wheel mount in this airplane. He's over on Jitsi, if you guys want to talk on Jitsi. I guess I could get an Instagram account going too, but Instagram is part of Facebook, and everybody knows what I think about Facebook.
So you got the cowl hollowed out and everything?
Oh, it's the right thickness. I just what camera are you looking at now? This?
Yeah. Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, I'm using 80 grit now. I'll switch to 320 and get it sanded smooth. It weighs 13 grams.
Wow. Looks like it's going to come in light like you wanted it to.
Yeah, if it comes in light and I can make it work, it'll be a killer. I'm already researching the paint job. It's going to be red. It's going to look like a real one, red and gold.
Oh, okay.
Miss Ashley red with the gold radiator. This is my Super Looper. It's flown by Tommy Looper. I'm going to put his name under the pilot.
You going to put down Super Looper or just Tommy Looper?
Super Looper. That way it's, I know who it's to, but I really appreciate Tommy doing that pilot. That pilot is so cool. Wait till you see it. Pictures don't do it justice.
It's
No,
Job or just a hobby?
he's just a modeler. He's just a airplane guy, old airplane guy. Can you guys hear the Jitsi conversation back there? Type that in the chat box so I know, because I can't hear you because you're not on Jitsi. Anyway, there's the look at the cowl inside. And of course I'll keep tinkering with it, and as Tom Morris says, I'll sand on it till for hours. That's what you got to do. I take popsicle sticks or women's fingernail files. I haven't done that in a while. I went to Walgreens and bought all the fingernail files they had. Probably need to do that again. That was so funny. That lady said, "How many files would you like?" I said, "All of them."
Yeah, I bought a bunch of them at Toledo this year. I'm going to try them. They had different grit or whatever, double-sided.
Yep.
But I think all they were just women's fingernail files that they put a damn little stamp on it.
Anyway, there's the cowl. I showed how I made that yesterday, how I mounted it up. It's really simple to do. Oh, we got some more chatters over here.
How are you going to attach it?
What do you mean, how am I going to attach it? I showed it yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't. It kept, I don't know if it was my internet or whatever, but I kept freezing and coming back on and freezing and coming back on. And
yeah, it did that yesterday. Okay, look here. See that? Let's see here. See the dowel in front there?
Yep, and a screw in the back. That's what I thought, because I seen you putting, I did catch where you were putting the one screw, you were threading it or drilling it or whatever.
Goes on like so, and then one screw in the back here. Did everybody see that on the YouTube channel? I showed this yesterday how to make it mount. It has one small dowel in the front, a hole in the nose ring. You slide it down. It's a little tricky because you got the venturi there. Don't force it.
Now, do you elongate that hole?
What? You could, but then it would.
I did that on that profile vector. It did like Tom Morrison. He showed me how to do it, but I couldn't get it straight in, so I ended up just elongating it down, so I had just a little bit of an angle, and then it won't let it raise.
Yeah. If you do it exactly like I showed yesterday on how to do it, it's all done together. You won't have an issue. Anyway, that's how it mounts, like so. One screw in the bottom.
Yeah.
This is the muffler John made for me yesterday. Pretty nice. I think it needs to. We need to mill on it a little more and lighten it up a little bit more, but. This nose fitment is what's going to take the time. Because you can still feel that. You want to be able to not feel that transition between the spinner and the nose ring, and it's difficult. So I just stand here and sand on it with the dowel. And once the plywood gets down to the spinner height, you can come back with 180, and the balsa wood sands real easy. But you, Steve, you've seen all my airplanes, how nice the spinners mold in.
Yeah.
It just takes work. And if you're not willing to put in the sweat equity, I guess this will work. I mean, they said they could hear you on the on YouTube.
Oh, that's good.
If I put this over here, they could see you on YouTube, or they might could see you now. I don't know. Let's see here. Let me look. Well, kinda, cause let's see here. There you are. Let me look now. Yeah, if they look real close, you're off sitting on the corner of the bench.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Anyway.
Yeah, I ended up, I got an old spinner, and I got a couple of them now. Inch and 3/4 and 2 inch that I put on there and then sand to shape over, because I end up picking up my damn spinners trying to get that plywood. I put tape on it, but then when you do that, then you can feel that, because the tape is just the amount of tape being high.
Well, I sand and buff all the spinners anyway, so what's the difference if it has scratches in it? Just sand it out.
Yeah.
I got to look at Yevis Fernandez's MC73. Boy, that thing's beautiful. He's really a good builder. French builder. And prolific. The guy can really build fast. I bet him and I could build a full-size stunt plane in a week.
I didn't know John could do machining and everything like that.
Yeah, well, that's a secret.
Well, it's out now because we all got to see it on YouTube yesterday.
Yeah. Don't ask him for nothing. He ain't gonna do it. We're hack machinists, is what he says.
I know he said it took you like 2 hours to make that. So that thing would have to sell for like
$1,000.
$150 to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then that probably won't even do it.
Let me see. I can see him small, he says. Yeah, he's over there. So if you want to join Steve, go to the At the Bench thread, and it's the Complex Tucker video thread.
Yeah, I went there first, but the dates on them were from July, and I couldn't find the right one.
Well, it's the first one, so.
That'll get you to YouTube also? I mean, yeah.
No. Damn. Boy, this is difficult. Were you watching TV there?
Me?
Yeah.
It's on, but I got the sound turned off. I've been kind of going back and forth from football
Man, this is going to take some time on this. But that's okay. I've got nothing better to do. I don't have much time on this airplane, really. The way it's figuring out, if I can do a 6-ounce finish, this airplane will be 38 ounces.
That's the exact way you want it, wasn't it?
Yeah. I found some of my old Rev Up 11.4s. I got 11.6, but it's out in the car. This is 11.4.
Yeah.
11.4.5 and 11.7. I got 11.5 and 11.6 in the car. So.
What did you always run on them 32s in the past?
11.4.5, but
okay.
That's when I was running it on a pipe. We then I put the 11.5. See, Jerry bought the Nobler. I put the 11.5 on that airplane, and it seems to work okay, but it's kind of finicky. It's the RPM has to be just right. And don't ask me what it is. The RPM is. That's my tack. Yeah, this is going to be a nice airplane. I'm debating whether to put the faux hood scoop on it. They got a MC72 has a quarter. It would be like a 1/4-inch long strip up here because it had a V12. Let's see, 24 two V12s together.
Wow.
It was a monster, man.
Merlin motors?
Yep. End to end.
Well, they run counter-rotating props, or they hook them together?
Had counter-rotating props on it.
Wow.
One time, MC72 was the fastest piston airplane moving. Then along came the Supermarine, oh, what the hell is that one? S6B, which is the predecessor to the Spitfire.
Wasn't that one Bearcat, the Rare Bear? Then was what the fast? Just a bunch of them are going back and forth there for a little while.
I'm talking the 30s. This airplane's from the 30s.
Oh.
Just look up MC7 Montecastelli MC72 on the internet. It's this was a seaplane. I think the reason why Bob Tucker designed this is because it had left parts off. It doesn't have a tail wheel and the canopy. There's no canopy and all that other shit. I don't know. Did you? Oh, you weren't there in Huntersville, were you?
No.
The guy there in Huntersville had a Tucker 4, and a Tucker 4 has about a 13-inch cord plus 3-inch flap, so that's 16 inches, but it had real narrow tips. I-beam wing, Don't build one of those.
No.
No. Not
Was
even.
that inherent problems with it, or?
Oh yeah. Even Ron, the guy who, you know Ron O'Toole, right?
Yeah.
The guy who flew the Tucker Special knew that that airplane wasn't going to work back in the 60s.
That was a lot of airplane for the motors they had back then in the 60s.
Yeah. All I had was Fox 35.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad Jeff Riley is tickled to death with his Fox 35 because it's all they are worth is tip weight.
He loves them things.
Yeah. One I sent him was pretty nice.
Well, Jim Lee there, that one airplane he flies with that Fox 35 in it. You'd never know it's a Fox 35 the way it runs.
Because it's not. It's a Hizoot 35. Hemi head, ABC liner. It's a Randy 35. So actually a Henry 35.
Okay. I got everything from Randy except the high zoot crank.
I don't know what.
I didn't buy that.
Well, Jeff sent me a 60, and it was locked up like tighter than Dick's hat band. But I had crashed and broke this case here. So John swapped everything over into this case. So this is a Hizoot Super Tiger 60. This is a Brian Gardner liner and all that other stuff. New bearings, etc., etc.
So that's the same, basically the same motor, just different case than what you had in the profile?
No, this is the motor that was in the profile. It broke the case and bent the crank.
Oh, it did bend the crank too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
This is the motor Jeff sent me. John took the crank out of this and the case and put all my guts and head on this motor here. So.
Did you like the way that the Gardner motor ran with the?
Oh yeah. Yep.
You see a real difference, or?
The difference is in compression, the horsepower. Because a ring motor doesn't have any compression after it gets hot. Yeah, I like it, you know. Let's see, anybody else typing over here? Yeah, the only one of you guys that's been to my little apartment is Charles. And he can attest to how small this place is. It's like living in the bathroom.
Going back to Missouri for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, or?
End of the month here. End of next week, I'll probably go back to Missouri and then go for a week and then come back. I got to make the money. I'm just so far upside down. I got to stay here and make money.
Okay.
That's what working for 8 years, not working for 8 years does to you. I like what I'm doing too. I mean, because it's a wide variety of things: welding, wiring, painting, fabricating. Not like being a Harley mechanic where all I do is, you know, change oil, diagnose, build motors. I did that for so long. We're getting there. Almost.
Well, guys, I'm going to get off. I'm going to make dinner and I can't do that and hold this phone at the same time. So,
All right.
I'll see everybody. Well, whoever gets on tomorrow night, because that's a 200 show. So, I'll make sure I'm on there.
Yeah, Rusty's proud of 200. That's amazing.
It really is. That's 2 years worth. Over 2. So, all right. Hope to see everybody tomorrow night. And we'll talk to you then. And guys, have fun.
All right, see ya.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, so if you want to talk to me, you can go to the at the events thread, or you can just watch on YouTube here as I tinker with this. And I will tinker till it's perfect. We're damn close though, right now. And the bad thing about this is you have to sand it a little undersized because I'm going to glass this. And the glass adds a little thickness. What do you guys think about that Facebook thread that was on Stunhanger? Facebook is nothing but a pain in the ass to me. Let me pull up this other. Let's see, we'll go here. YouTube. Y-O. Backspace. YouTube. Then we go to my YouTube. Come on. That way I don't have to look behind me. My channel. Should be the top one. Yep. 10 watching, it says. I'm going to shut the audio off. Come on. Oh, by the way. All right. I got the YouTube going so I can see what I'm doing. It looks like the airplane's in the right spot. If you want to type at me. Okay. It says here you still have to fit the tank and filler tube and vents. The way that I do these is, especially when you're using a clunk tank like this, is it's real simple, super simple. There's not a whole lot of filler tube and vents and all the other business. This tank, I might get a Casminato carbon fiber tank, I don't know, but this tank will fit down in here like so. Slide all the way back. I have quite a bit of room between here and there, so that's not a big deal. Then plumb it up to the pickup. The fill line will have 1/8 inch tube. That doesn't get done till after the airplane's painted and everything. 1/8 inch tube coming out and bent around forward for fill. And the overflow is just a tube hanging down that sticks out of this hole right here. And I cap it, and then when I get ready to fly it, I tuck it back in the hole and let her rip. So it's not a big deal to fill a tank and all that other business. This was, something that every airplane I got here is done the same way. So that's not a problem. Anything else? Got a nice glow plug hole. I'd have to sand it a little bit. It's a little out of round, but not bad. All this tinkering. I got a high spot right here I can see. Let's see how long I've been running here. 42 minutes, 12 viewers, 6 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Super chats are welcome. It helps me, gives a few coins to Rusty. Oh, I know what we're going to talk about. We're coming up on Christmas, and the Christmas giveaway is going to be an ARF. Either an SV11 ARF, that's a $200 kit, or a, what the hell is that thing? Staris or whatever, ARF. Vector, that's what it is, Vector ARF. That's another almost $200 kit. I'll be drawing for that next month. I'll start a thread, put your name on it. I use a random number generator and send it out. I'll try to get it to you before Christmas. All right. What do you think? Does that look good? Oh, I gotta go up. There we go. A little high right there yet, so I'll sand on that some more. A little high right there. Doesn't have quite the right arc. Like making a baseball bat. Yesterday I talked about a Cooper, and one of the guys came back and said it's a guy who makes barrels. He's exactly right. He makes barrels and buckets. And when I watch that guy do that, I go, hey, that guy could make model airplanes. Because I could do that job. I know I could. And they use those guys, Coopers and barrels in the 20s, Coopers that made barrels and buckets in the 20s and 30s, making whiskey barrels and wooden buckets. And I bet the guy was about my age. Third generation Cooper. I think he was from Australia. Really a good video. Showed how to use draw knives. And then this morning I watched a... well, thank you, Herbert. This morning I watched a video on Japanese joinery. You talk about fits. Them guys really know how to make stuff fit. I don't know how the hell they did it either. They're putting boxes together with hidden dovetails and mortise and tenons, and no glue. You can't even, there's no glue. And you can't see the seam. Super craftsman. And that's the kind of fits that I would want on anything that I'm building, because the less glue you can use, the less weight you'll have. Okay, Frank, thank you. We're coming along. One thing nice about this backlight, it really candles good. I can see the shape, you know, the roll of the symmetry of the fuselage. That's you're not supposed to sand like this, but I do a lot of things you're not supposed to do. Let's see, I had a... That's a job that I know I could do. I know I could make buckets and barrels. I mean, he made it look easy, and I thought it looked easy, and I'll bet it's easy to me. But I've been working with wood all my life. I mean, I have some of those tools that he had, those draw knives and shapers and planers that were my great-great-grandfather's. He was a shipbuilder. You know, there's a tool that looks like a hoe. And everybody said, what kind of hoe is that? That's an axe head. It's called an adze, A-D-S. And what they do with those adzes is turn round logs into square ones. And that was part of the shipbuilder's toolbox. Spoke knives, draw knives, all kind of little planers. I was watching the Japanese joinery video today, and if I went to Japan, I would probably look up those guys. Just to see if I could be an apprentice. Now, I can't get too carried away with making this too perfect because all this has to be split apart and put together. You know, I'm going to cut the fuselage right here, right here. Front half of the airplane comes off, back half of the airplane comes off. Of course, the top and bottom blocks are off of it when I do this. Put the wing in it, put it back together, glue these on permanently, but I would like to make these things fit as good as possible so there's a lot less work to do when the model's going together. But we're in a good weight range with this fuselage. This has the motor, spinner, rudder, tank, and muffler on it. And anybody got to guess what it weighs? It's probably going to be heavier than I want, but it's mostly motor. Anybody got a guess? This is the heaviest part of the airplane because of the motor. Mode. It's a pound. 1615. Plus a 9-ounce wing is 25. 25, 26. Let's figure that. 26. $26 will weigh this. $28.5. That's 28.5 plus the tank is in this too. 28.5, 28.5 plus 3 ounces for landing gear is 31.5. 31.5. 6-ounce finish will be a 37, 38-ounce airplane plus a propeller, so it'll be under 40. But most of it's in power plant. But fortunately, I have moved it all back. It's all back farther than designed for, so it should fly good. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. I appreciate your time coming in and watching. I know this, I mean, it wasn't an informational video or anything like that. It was just more or less a come sand with me or whatever on Sunday. So, till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.